Alright, so we can talk about our 1 month of full-time RVing, what we have learned. You want to kick it off?
With what?
Ants. That's one thing we've learned. Get ready for them because they coming. I don't know where you RVing, where you full-timing, whether you weekend warrior, where you staying, if you in a field or in the desert in Mojave. Ants are coming. Battery's about to die. How is that possible?
Take 2. So we've decided to make a video on our 1 month of full-time RVing experience. What we have learned so far.
1 month of RVing, what we have learned so far. What have we learned so far? No particular order. We're just going to take it. One of the things we learned is I don't care how small your RV is. If you have the option to put in 2 air conditioning units, do it. I mean, it was 95 degrees today. We're in Virginia.
For the past 3 weeks.
Yep. I mean, 1 AC is good enough, but if you can put 2, just do it because it's pretty awesome if you can get this thing down to like 7 degrees and turn off an AC even if you don't need it. It's pretty awesome. Especially if you've been outside cooking or grilling. Like I was telling Maria today, like, hey, if you get cold, just take a step outside. Leave the ACs on. And that way, whenever it's real cold, I can just come inside and just chill for a second.
That's a topic I absolutely hate.
It's editable.
So we've been staying at a campground for almost a month in a foresty area where we were in a shade. And to be honest, we didn't need to use 2 ACs at the same time often. The part that we were in a shaded area really helped. But now we moved to another campground where we're in a field, we're exposed to sun 100%, nothing's covering us. And we need the 2 ACs.
Okay. Alright, let's talk about something else we've learned.
For example, noise. So you can hear practically anything that's going on around your RV. And people who are passing by might hear you if you're talking in a high-pitched tone. My point, I forgot what was my point on that.
Yeah, you hear everything. You hear the good noises and you hear the bad noises. I want to say the bad noises is kind of like, well, you got like diesel trucks just starting up 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Because you have some people, they got to go to work. Like they're literally full-timers like we are. And then other people just get up early, the early birds. So yeah, you have the bad noises where diesel trucks is running. The good noises, if you can call them that, which I call them good, when you got like animals, you know, you got birds, you got frogs, you got crickets keeping you up possibly at night or waking up in the morning. Like, if you don't know what a whippoorwill is, well, granted, we don't have them here that I've heard of yet, but we have other birds that'll wake you up. But a whippoorwill, if you was a little bit farther down in the southeast, they'll wake your butt up. So yeah, you have it's noisy. You're insulated for the weather, but you can still hear everything. So it's good noises and bad noises. So.
I actually enjoy hearing the birds all the time. It's very therapeutic, but the thing that really irritates me is when during the day we had a neighbor who had a diesel truck, and actually it was a female, and she would, every once in a while, she would just turn that thing on and it would be on for 10 or 15 minutes. I don't remember for what reason. Noise is like you hear the tractor noise all the time when you're on a campground and you want to hear those other noises of nature, calm, but not the environmental interference.
Okay, what else we got?
And some dog owners I understand that they're a member of the family. I have nothing against dogs, but when that dog barks at 3 a.m. and they can't calm him down, that's what happens on a campground. And that's the stuff you can't avoid, unfortunately. Now I said.
Granted, if you live in a house, brick and mortar, you probably aren't going to hear those noises. But yeah, it's just kind of the one things we've learned after our 1 month of full timing, and yeah, what we've learned, differences. Another one of the things we've learned about, it feels like you're on vacation all the time. You know, I mean, you need to have some type of routines, but you can go without any routines whatsoever. And granted, we still work, so I mean, we have that routine going for us. Like, no matter what you do during the day or in the afternoons, Monday through Friday, we work, so we have that routine. But other than that, it's kind of, there's some other routines that we follow, but it's nothing compared to what it was like before we started doing this. I was just telling Maria today, it's like, I haven't played the Xbox. I haven't played video games in about a month since we've been doing this. You know, like, we kind of, I mean, we've used the Xbox because we watch movies and YouTube and everything else to stream, and the internet's still pretty good no matter where you go. Okay, but that's another story. So yeah, I mean, it feels like you're on vacation. You know, I mean, especially because we have moved around twice already. We stayed 1 month in one place, and we just recently moved to another place. So
for 2 weeks.
It's new scenery. There's new things available for you to do, entertainment-wise. Like here we can rent kayaks. There's a pool. We're going to the pool like every day, and yeah, it's not very far from the Outer Banks, so we just went there and just yeah. So I mean, it kind of feels like you're on vacation. You just can't spend your money like you're on vacation, you know.
Yeah, you always gotta be in the mindset that you're still resident versus vacationing. Which brings us to our next topic: flexibility and location. The beauty of full timing is you're the boss of your own time and location. You can go wherever you want to go, depending on availability at a campsite, obviously. So yeah, you can discover stuff within the vicinity, and you would go to places you've never gone because you live at one particular location in a brick and mortar. Yeah.
Great. So we're staying in a particular region because we're not full timing to the extent of where we're traveling the country. We're full timing in preparation for that. Mm-hmm. So we are bouncing around from one part to another within a particular region. So just to clarify that. So what's next? We covered 2 ACs. Get them if you can have them. Mm-hmm. We've covered, it kind of feels like you're on vacation, but you're not. Noise, you got good noises, you got bad noises. So we've got weather. So what do you think about weather as a full-time RVer?
You are pretty much, I guess, somewhat dependable on the weather, because if it's raining, and it limits places and activities you can do. But for the past literally month, there was barely any rain, so we were outside all the time, which is awesome.
Yeah, so when the weather's good, take advantage of it. Me in particular, I've been taking advantage of maintenance on the RV. You know, granted, it's brand new, but still, there's a lot of stuff you need to do right off the bat. I mean, you need to. I'm not gonna tell you what you need to do, what you should do. Nobody likes to be should on.
But we are gonna share our experience, what has been done.
Like, we're full timers, so we want this RV that we call Snow White, to be in good condition. So the first thing I did was, good weather, I want to wax it. Wax all 4 walls. I want to paint it. I want to paint the undercarriage, keep it from rusting. 13, like, we moved to a new location where It's out in the sun. It's out from pine trees and shaded areas where it ain't got all this pine sap dripping on it. So before we even moved to this RV park, to where we knew we would be outside of shaded and trees, I washed the roof really good and removed all that pine tree sap so I could, on a really good nice day, I could wax the roof. We have a PVC roof because we have an out Highland Ridge RV, which is pretty unique because it has a PVC roof, so we were able to wax it like PVC pipe. So yeah, take advantage of good weather. I mean, let's say you got all your maintenance done, your tanks are empty, blah blah blah. Like, you don't have to do anything. You ain't got to cut the grass. You know, this RV takes the place of that. Go do something that you can take advantage of the weather. You know, go to the beach, go to the
If
pool.
it's not maintenance, go and have fun.
Yeah.
There's really no reason to stay inside, although to be honest, we really love the inside of our RV as well.
Yeah. So the downside of that is when it rains, this is a very small space, so it does get small quick. I mean, take advantage of the weather. Take advantage of good weather. So.
And the location you're at.
Yep.
Which brings us to the other subject. So we just moved from one campsite to another. We've been at a full hookup. Now we do not have a sewer connection. We only have electric and water. We realized that on an average, we have to use the dump station if not once, then twice a week. Which means we gotta kind of pack our RV, hitch it, and move it towards the dump station. So when you're living in an RV, you obviously have your stuff set out a little bit everywhere, and you don't want it to fall and create whatever. So literally you gotta pack it. It still takes time. For now, if we include everything we did today, because we did this procedure today, it took about 3 hours?
I'd say about 4 hours. Yeah. So change your location. It can be positive or it can be negative. Well, the negative side of changing location is it takes you at least 2 hours to get ready and set and get geared stowed away to move the RV, and it takes about 2 hours to set up afterwards. I mean, granted, that could probably be different. It's individual. It could be different for you. It could be different for us. It could be different for Joe Smo out there. It depends on, like, I try to what's the word for it? Intertwine a little bit of maintenance in between our moves, but such as like lubricating. Today was a stabilizer, spraying some spray on it. But change the location, it could be good and bad. If you don't like your neighbors, it's awesome. You know, hey, you can move next week. You can move today. Whenever you plan to move, you can move and be away from those neighbors and meet other neighbors. If you, even little things like our last place, we were under trees. Like, the positive side of it was easy to stay cool, and we only had one AC, and that thing was intermittent. But the negative side was there was kind of ants around there. I mean, it took a couple of long days of trying this, trying that, to finally win the battle of, look here, ants, you ain't getting on board here. Like, you need to go away. Versus now we're here in the middle of a field under nothing but sun, no shade, no pine trees, any kind of trees. Our greatest battle is not insects and bugs, it's staying cool, in which we're thankful, okay, this location is awesome because we have 2 ACs. So yeah, it's good.
And the awning adds some shade, especially if you want to sit outside.
Yeah. So we could talk all day about the many things we've learned during the first month. We're just trying to touch on a couple of things. Like, seriously, we've learned a lot in 1 month. And we've tried to take notes, and we'll try to spread them to other videos that we've learned, because there's so much we've learned in a month. It's crazy. So we'll just talk about one other topic right now is awning. The awning. The awning is not made or designed to use for when it's raining to keep you out of the wet rain or blah blah blah. Because it's like, if you use it to keep you out of the rain, and then whenever it starts picking up the wind or whatever, you roll it up. It only takes probably like, I don't know, maybe a day or two. That thing will start molding and just deteriorating. It'll start becoming what you don't want it to become. And the next time, so then the next time you extend the awning out, that's when you see where, oh wow, I messed up. Like, I should have let it dry out a little bit before I do that, because it's going to have all this stuff that you don't want on it, and you're not going to be able to clean it to where you can make it look new again. And that's what we learned from our research ahead of times. And that's why we're adding this in right now. So we already knew we're not going to use it if it rains. It's just used for shade. And if the wind gets out of control and crazy,
you want to put it in.
Put it in. So right now we've had it for a month. A little over a month. Something like that. Right at a month. Our awning looks brand new. We use it all the time. But we don't use it when it's going to rain. And if it does get rained on while it was out, we were in here and we extended it or left it out or whatever, blah, blah, to let it dry out before we reeled it back in.
We learned that there's an interesting function in the awning is when it accumulates a lot of water, if it gets rained on, the springs come in, right?
It will collapse itself. It's spring loaded. And I think even the cheaper ones, even the cheaper awnings will do the same thing. They'll gather a lot of water and collapse themselves, and then it's like the water will just shoot out the sides, and then it'll spring load and extend itself out. But I mean, you don't want to do that. We accidentally kind of did that, and it'll do the same thing with wind. Like, it'll collapse itself and then just spring out and scare the crap out of you, and hopefully it doesn't rip the awning off. Like it happened one time. We're like, okay, yeah, we'll never do that again.
We actually one time saw it on our neighbor's rig, and because we caught a glimpse of it, we thought it broke or something, but then it looked normal, and then it happened to ours, and yeah, we learned something new.
We could talk about many things, but we just kind of touched on some of the major things, I guess.
I guess kind of the top for a person who just started and went through the 1 month period.
If you wanted to get into small, what's the word for it? If you wanted to get into the small, intricate details of full-time RVing, one of the little things we learned right away, or I learned right away.
You sound like an arrogant prick. Just saying.
Your toilet. Your toilet.
Oh, God, you're going to talk about it.
It holds a seal, like an airtight seal. As long as there's water, a little bit of water in the toilet, that's a barrier. Like, there's no air, no smell whatsoever that is going to come up from your black tank into your RV. As long as there's a little bit of water, that means that gasket is holding an airtight seal. So if you notice your toilet, I don't know if you have two of them, you got a big rig, probably like 40 foot plus if you got two. Ours is 28 foot long. We got one toilet. If you got water in your toilet, it's holding an airtight seal. If you can't maintain a watertight seal, then that means there's probably air also coming up through your toilet, and you may smell poop. So the way you get around that is if you're leaking water and it won't hold a seal, that means you probably need to clean your seal. Just use like a toilet brush. Not aggressively either. Think about it. It's a rubber gasket. Don't be too aggressive of it. You ain't trying to rip this thing off. So just use your regular, toilet. Just clean it up and do whatever you can to make it hold water to where it seals. Now the way you prevent it from not sealing, and it does take much for you not to seal, a little tiny little piece of poop sticking to the end of this rubber seal can allow water to seep through, also air. So before you do a number 2, put a couple of layers of toilet paper in the toilet first.
The little small
Just
details you learn
little
that will
things.
make your life
Put
easier.
toilet paper in there first, so when you poop, it doesn't hit that gasket, and it doesn't attach to the gasket. And then when you use the bathroom and flush the toilet, everything all goes down on those pieces of toilet paper, and it doesn't mess with your gasket. It just
slides all into it.
That's it. And then after that, if you can, try to it's pressure sensitive. Most of the levers, if I'm not mistaken, are pressure sensitive. When you press it, just send everything down, and then after that, apply a little bit of pressure to where you put a good amount of water on there, because you also want to have, you don't want to create like a triangle of poop at your black tank. You want to have some water down there as well, so fill it back up with water. You know, make sure it's kind of like 50-50. You got this, and then you hopefully you got water on top of that. So when you go to flush it, all of it goes out, and it's nice and soft. Anyway, so that's just one of the small details we learned. That there's many things we've learned from the first month, but I want to say that's kind of one of the small. Well, it's a major detail, but it's a small detail you should. It's hard to talk about, but you want to know about. We'll talk about other ones in future videos. There's a lot of them. So one of them being distributing the electrical load in your RV.
We're talking about it in our next.
Your RV load distribution panel, I guess you could call it. So we had to do that. So alright, so yeah, that's good for now. What do we say?
Please like our video. Please subscribe to our channel, SuperTrooper and StreetKing Adventures on YouTube. And stay tuned for our next video. We love you.
We're on Facebook too. Bye-bye.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Alright, you can end it now.